This is Charlie Sykes from the Bulwark. It is October 2nd, 2023, and today's a good day to remind you that the brutality is the point. In case you missed it, over the weekend, the former president spoke to a raucous Republican crowd in California and mocked the hammer attack on Nancy Pelosi's elderly husband, and the crowd loved it.
And we'll stand up to crazy Nancy Pelosi, who ruined San Francisco. How's her husband doing, by the way? Anybody know? And she's against building a wall at our border, even though she has a wall around her house, which obviously didn't do a very good job.
Hilarious, right? But remember, this guy is the front-running Republican candidate for president of the United States. So this is a good day to remind yourself that you are not the crazy ones. Of course, there was a lot more. Trump called for Joe Biden to be indicted and to use his very presidential words.
But if you become president and you don't like somebody, or if somebody's beating you by 10, 15, or 20 points like we're doing with crooked Joe Biden, let's indict the motherfucker. Let's indict him.
But the real highlight of the speech was his latest endorsement of extrajudicial murders. Last week, he called for the execution of General Mark Milley, and over the weekend, he doubled down on this, calling for the summary execution, the shooting of shoplifters.
Very simply, if you rob a store, you can fully expect to be shot as you are leaving that store.
And the crowd absolutely loved it. Listen.
Shot.
This isn't really all that new for Donald Trump, who in the past has rather enthusiastically called for the execution of drug dealers.
And I'm calling for the death penalty for drug dealers and human traffickers. What's wrong?
He really, really likes the idea, which he apparently got from the Chinese communist strongman, President Xi.
You go to China, you go to Singapore, you go to many countries where they have the death penalty. They have no drug problem whatsoever.
So not surprisingly, Ron DeSantis is trying to compete in this brutality Olympics by saying that he would like to kill people too.
We are going to authorize the use of deadly force against the cartels. If you have somebody coming in with the fentanyl in the backpack, they even break through the border wall where there is wall. If they're doing that, that's the last thing they're going to be able to do, because we're going to leave them stone cold dead at the border.
Now, presumably, they would check the backpacks to determine they actually had fentanyl as opposed to, say, Skittles, but after they were stone cold dead, right? So no arrest, no trial, no due process, because who needs it? But why would Republican voters go for a knockoff wannabe Trump when they can have the real thing? Trump's base loves this sort of thing, and Trump is going to serve them more, even as the threat of political violence rises. Remember, this is the guy that actually incited the attack on the Capitol. So we ought to take it seriously and literally. And remember that you are not the crazy ones. I'm Charlie Sykes. We'll be back tomorrow.